If I can have your attention, please, if you're willing and able. Let's stand for the invocation. And I present to you Pastor Dave Riley from the Cornerstone Baptist Church. And if you would, remain standing for the pledge to the flag. Reverend.
Let's pray. God in heaven, we thank you. We thank you for your creation. We thank you for your blessings and all that you give us in so many ways. We thank you, God, that we can stand before you even right in this place and pray and seek your wisdom and your guidance and your counsel. We pray, God, for our community. We thank you, Father, for such a wonderful community we live in, and we thank you for those in our community that serve. And we pray for our commissioners this morning as they make decisions today and seek you as well. Father, you tell us when we seek you that we'll find you. So we thank you for that promise today. May you bless this meeting and all who are here. And we pray this in your name, Lord. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good morning. Welcome to the Henry County Board of Commissioners, 9 a.m., Tuesday, December the 1st, 2015 meeting. The acceptance of the agenda. I understand we have at least one amendment to the agenda to add a law enforcement service agreement, IGA, between Henry County and the city of Stockbridge. And if that's the case, we will put that Let me find a good place. Let's just put it last. Let's go under the 13 Parks and Recs. We'll make it C and we'll put it there. Okay, does somebody move we approve the agenda as amended with that amendment?
Move to approve.
Have motion District 4. Second District 3, all in favor of the motion, raise your right hand. District 5 Commissioner is missing. He's under the weather today. He tried to make it in, but he's said he's too sick to come in, and I think some of that crud is going around, so if you got it, stay home. Do we have anybody that's here representing staff recognition awards for the Parks and Recs? We know you're here. So I'm going to ask our communication director, Melissa, if she would read the names, and when we get through, we'll have a group photo.
Good morning, Chairman and Commissioners. This morning we are recognizing several members of the Henry County Parks and Recreation Department, all of whom were honored this year at this year's annual Georgia Recreation and Park Association's annual conference held in Dalton, Georgia. And we have 6 staff members to recognize, and I'll read each certificate, and then they'll come up and have a picture with you. So the first one is Richard Castleberry, who's the Maintenance Specialist Tech 3 with the Henry County Parks and Recreation Department, and he's being recognized for receiving the 2015 Georgia Recreation and Park Association's Distinguished Professional in Facility and Grounds Award, and also the 2015 6th District Distinguished Professional in Facility and Grounds. And we recognize him for his outstanding contributions to the Henry County Parks and Recreation Department. The second award is for Harlan Matthews, who's a therapeutic recreation specialist, and he received the 2015 Georgia Recreation and Park Association's Triumph of the Human Spirit Award. Third, we have Brandy Sanders, who's a therapeutic recreation specialist with the Henry County Parks and Recreation Department, and she received the 2015 Georgia Recreation and Park Association's 6th District Young Professional Award. We also have Terry Nash, therapeutic recreation coordinator with the department, and she received the 2015 Georgia Recreation and Parks Association Mike Daniel Award. We have Joanne Compton, who's a community volunteer with the Henry County Parks and Recreation Department, and she received the 2015 Georgia Recreation and Parks Association's Volunteer of the Year Award in programming for young people. And finally, we have Kathy Hunt, who's the program coordinator with the department, and she's receiving an award on behalf of the staff for the 2015 Georgia Recreation and Park Association's Single Event Publication Award for the 2015 Henry County Parks and Recreation calendar.
Tim Coley, you need to be up there.
Okay, he's already had it.
Yeah. Yeah, Donna, where's she at? Come on, there. Everybody with the rec department needs to come up there. Come on. Yeah. No, we got a roll out there. Hurry up here.
No.
Okay. Everybody get your spot. Don't get across the front.
Ready? I'm gonna do 3, okay?
Okay. Congratulations. Yeah. Do we have any people signed up for public comments? It's Christmas. Public Works, resolution awarding a bid for pavement marking services for Department of Transportation. Terry, good morning.
Morning, Chairman, board members. Department of Transportation requires pavement marking services for various county projects. Having a contract for these items allows quick access to the product without the necessity of bidding each time the product is required, and guarantees prices will remain firm for the contract period. This contract will replace the previous contract that expired October 17, 2015. Sealed bids were requested for various pavement marking item services. Bid notices were issued via Team Georgia Marketplace. Additionally, the bid documents were posted at the county website, and the bid notice was listed at the ACCG-GLGA website. 4 vendors responded. A bid tab is attached for your price comparison. This will be a unit price contract with no fixed quantities. Prices will remain firm for the contract period. DOT will be the primary user. However, the contract will also be available for any county departments that require it. Funding for this product is allocated within DOT's budget. We are recommending award to Peak Pavement Markings. Be happy to answer any
Anybody got any questions? Would you be so kind as to put page 2 up here and let the people know that how complicated and involved this is for y'all to take bids on this piecemeal and come up with a bid? It's simple for you to get up there and make a presentation for staff, but to see how you get there, I think everybody needs to appreciate how we go through the bid process.
Yeah, there was a few changes this year. At the top is our regular paint striping. GDOT added a new type of paint that's kind of halfway between paint and thermo. So we included that on there. Paint doesn't last as long as thermo. Of course, thermo lasts a whole lot longer, but it's a lot more expensive if you could see the unit prices. So additional paint was included this year, so we may make some changes on that. Certain roads that have a lot of traffic, heavy wear on them, we may try this newer paint on. And then in addition, you have all the other things that we use: turn arrows, stop bars, stop railroad crossings, rumble strips. All of those things are on that bid. So there is quite a lot of items on there.
Anybody have any questions or comments? Yes, sir.
Terry, how do roads make this list to get restriped? Exactly.
How do they get this? Of course, this isn't a list here, but
Not this list. I asked because I recently had a complaint on Jodico Road about the striping, and I'm just kind of curious how we determine which roads we do and which roads we don't do.
first of all, as we, of course, resurface roads, we restripe those.
Sure.
I mean, that's kind of a no-brainer. In addition, if we get a request from a citizen like we have received that request on Jodico, we'll ride out there and look at the road, and then it'll go on our list. And as we accumulate a fair amount, then we'll put a little package together, send it to the striper. So we're striping roads probably maybe every 3 months or so. We'll get up a package. They'll come in and stripe it. Rather than have them come do one road, you know, that may be a mile long or something, you know, we'll accumulate enough work to make it worth them coming up and doing the work. So like that one, matter of fact, that road, as soon as if the board approves this, we'll be putting that together in a PO request for that one to be striped, you know, and we hope to have it done, you know, within 3 or 4 weeks. So if they have a need, if they'll just call our DOT,
Okay,
you know, we'll go out and look at them and we'll get them striped.
thank you.
Anybody else have any question or comment? District 1?
When you evaluate the O-striping, do you do it in clear conditions and rainy conditions? I mean, because I've had people say that they can't see the striping. Like, we just restriped Keys Ferry because they said it had an issue with it when it's raining, they couldn't see them. So,
We can evaluate them several ways. I mean, we can go out on a clear day and do it. You can tell, even on a clear day, if they need, you know, restriping or not. Obviously, when we get the most complaints on paint is when it is raining, because you get enough water on the road, it can almost cover up the striping and it's not very visible. In addition, there is some roads that, like Keys Ferry and others, that type of road, we'll go out and evaluate, and we may put raised pavement markers on them to help during that rain or something like that to see the road. So that's something that we're trying to do. More and more roads that have a higher volume, you'll see us putting raised pavement markers on them, and that's in this contract as well.
okay, thank you.
Further questions? If not, have a resolution of the Board of Commissioners awarding a bid for pavement marking services for the Department of Transportation.
So moved.
Have a motion, District 1. Second, District 4. Any further discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, same sign. So moved. Emergency Management, resolution accepting emergency management performance grant, EMPG, with the Georgia Emergency Agency, or EMA, funding additional authorization for the chairman to execute all the documents. Good morning, Director
Mr.
Don
Chairman,
Ash.
Commissioners. Good morning. I'm here today to request authorization to get the contracts and everything initiated. The EPGM fundings are the fundings that are provided through GEMA, Georgia Emergency Management, that comes down from FEMA for the purpose of the support of operations and the personnel and training for emergency management. These funds are $61,177. That's our annual award, and it's matched by in-kind labor matched through our department. And I'm just asking authorization to receive those funds.
Anybody have any questions? If not, we'll have a resolution, Henry County Board of Commissioners authorizing acceptance and execution of the EMPG grant fund from the Georgia Emergency Management Agency. Have a motion, District 3. Second, District 2. Any further discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, same sign. So moved. Thank you. Thank you, Don. Facility maintenance, resolution approving replacement of the roof and HVAC units for the Henry County DFAX building. The newly appointed Hutch Purvis, Facility Maintenance Director. Good morning.
Good morning, Chairman, Commissioners. The building located at 125 Henry Parkway, McDonough, Georgia, which is leased by the Henry County Department of Family and Children's Services, was first built in 1996, with addition added in 2005. The original building has had strong leak history with unsuccessful attempts to repair them. The addition has also had repair problems with leaks as well. The Henry County Facility Maintenance Department sought professional consultation due to the magnitude of these issues caused by the leaks. Based on the findings of the severity of the need, a request for total roof replacement is being submitted, along with the need to replace 21 rooftop units that have reached the end of their life expectancy and should also be replaced. The Henry County Facilities Maintenance Department requests to replace the roof of Henry County DFAX building utilizing the U.S. Communities contract with Garland, DBS contract 145903 in the amount of $779,972, and also to replace the building's 21 rooftop units using U.S. Communities contract with Train, contract number 15JLP023 in the amount of $187,383. The funding for this project is available from insurance proceeds in the amount of $495,000 and from general fund balance in the amount of $472,355. I have with me Roy Weidman. He's with Atlanta Roofing Resources. He's the one that conducted the infrared survey and the roof moisture confirmation examination that y'all have included in your packets. Is there any questions?
Have a question for you, for District 1.
I was wondering, I was reading where we had a 20-year warranty, a 30-year warranty, and a 40-year warranty roofs. I guess we just took the middle of the road.
Yes, sir.
For funding.
Yes, sir. After discussing it with the county manager, myself, and Mr. Weidman, we determined that would be the best option for the county with the warranty and the durability of the roof with all the rooftop units up there, you know, and the future roof access, you know, and people being up there working on units, that roof would be better suited for our needs.
Okay. All right, thank you.
I might throw out just for records, just to show you how the board gets involved in this. DFAX has some 20 air conditioning units on top of the building. The newest one up there is, I think, 21 years old.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so consequently, if we put a new roof on and we put the old units on, it's somewhere down the road, I could see where it would infringe on the warranty of a new roof.
Right.
So having said that, I think it's a smart move to go ahead and start out with new air conditioning units and all that at the same time. Does anybody else have any questions or comments? Yes, sir.
Hutch, would you take me through, I read the packet and everything, and I'm aware we're going with a built-up roof, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And why did we decide to go with the built-up roof in comparison to PVC or TPO?
It goes back to the durability, and Roy may be able to answer this question better.
Yes, sir. We looked at three options. The first option, the lower cost option, would be for a single-ply membrane, a PVC roof. When we were evaluating the alternatives, that PVC roof is a 60 mil membrane, very thin. It is designed primarily for roof systems where there's not a lot of rooftop traffic expected. On the DFAX roof, as Chairman Smith has mentioned, this roof has a lot of rooftop traffic because of the HVAC units that are placed on top. Even though we are replacing those HVAC units with new units, we can anticipate a lot of service on those new units. Because of that, we were looking at an alternative for the 30-year warranted roof system, which is a 215 mil thick system, which is 2 layers of membrane, much more robust system, which is more resistant to puncture. And the incremental cost for that system is not that much greater, and that was our recommendation.
Okay. All right. Hutch, did you happen to take any pictures, anything in the building? I kind of wanted my citizens to take a look to see what
Yes, sir, I've got
doing.
one of the, this is the front lobby. You walk in the building. That's presently what we had to construct to kind of catch the water. It was leaking in multiple areas. And with the amount of rain we've had recently, it was just hard to contain it all.
Yeah,
keep-
I really wanted my citizens to take a look at this to see what kind of repair we're talking about is in this building. And I did go and do a site visit with this building, and I'll be honest, I was a bit appalled. You know, this is DFAX.
Yes, sir.
And if we had a child in a home that had a roof like this, we may actually take the child away from the parents. But here we have an instance where it's our building that looks like this. And I want the citizens to understand this is the lobby.
Yes,
This
sir.
is where you first walk into the building. And I did a check throughout the building, and there's leaks throughout the building, and they've been leaking for quite some time.
Yes, sir.
And, you know, I just want the citizens to realize, you know, we're not up here buying golf courses and
Right.
buying property from our, you know, developer friends. We're fixing issues that we have to fix.
Right.
And, you know, it's a lot of money to put here, but the only options that we have, we can let this building sit, and if we do, it will ruin. It's just a matter of time, and it will not be serviceable. Or we can fix it. It's going to cost a lot of money, but
Yes, sir.
I just do want my citizens to realize this is not isolated. There's a lot of buildings in this county that are in this shape, and they'll be coming up as we go. So I just want my citizens to realize, you know, we are spending your money wisely. We're doing the best we can, and that's why I wanted to ask about the more expensive roof. But I do agree that a 30-year warranty is much better, obviously, than a 20-year.
Right.
And I am familiar with the PVC, and I do know we can get much more durability and much more foot traffic on the built-up roof. So I appreciate what you did here, and hopefully we can get this taken care of. What's our turnaround time on this? I know the weather's terrible for this. It's the worst time of the year.
Materials.
Right. We have chosen a roof system that can be installed during the winter,
Okay.
but we need moderate weather. We need weather that is above freezing. It is also a roof system that is totally VOC compliant because of the nature of the work that's going on in that building. It is a cold applied system. There will be no noxious odors, but we will have to work around the weather. But we can do it starting as soon as the contract is awarded.
Okay. Second part of this, I noticed in the building, the air quality, it felt as if it was not up to par.
Correct.
Now, we're replacing the units, the HVAC units.
Yes, sir.
Are we doing anything different to help move air? What are we doing exactly to help with air quality in that building?
Well, when the roof's replaced and we stop the moisture from entering the building, that will help tremendously. But we also are getting the new train units that are come equipped with the option of adding the economizers to them, and they will be set to the ASHRAE standards for bringing fresh air into the building.
Okay.
And they also will close off when they're in unoccupied mode. That will help save energy.
Okay.
So yes, sir, you know, it's going to be up to ASHRAE standards
Okay,
as
yeah.
far as indoor air quality.
I just bring this up as defects. We have a lot of children
Right.
coming in and out of there, and we really have to look at this more as an institution, school, or a doctor's office. So I'm glad to see that we're making some positive movements to get bring the air quality up and help
Yes,
people stay healthy. I appreciate it.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you.
I yield the floor to District 1.
Have we got any mold issues?
We are having an indoor air quality test performed this Friday, actually. The bid was just awarded this past week. So, you know, we have some stained tiles. I'm not sure if we actually have any mold issues or not. That will be determined with this test.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? If not, we have a resolution of the Board of Commissioners placing a roof and HVAC units for the Henry County DFAX building and amend the FY 2016 budget. Have a motion, District 4.
Second.
Second, District 1. Any further discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, same sign. So moved. Thank you so much. Yes, sir.
Need to echo a couple of things on there that Commissioner Prince brought up. This is one of 17 roofs that we've identified that have some particular needs to them. Hopefully they won't all be as bad as this, but we've brought these consultants on to be able to evaluate and tell us which ones need to go the soonest. But it's important, the roofs, systems altogether, the diaphragms, and the AC systems that are on top. It's just been a deferral that the board has been made aware for a long, long time, and now it's coming home to roost with us with a lot of things that have caught up with us. This is just the first one. We're going to have to figure out some of the financing for the other ones, because when the roof fails, the entire structure is compromised in so many different ways. It just gets much more expensive in an exponential manner. The other interesting thing is that the board, we did this under community contracts. And it's interesting that if we'd gone with the traditional bid methods, we couldn't have used local contractors. In this case, we can use a local contractor through our service provider. So it's kind of an interesting way to do it. We can do it very quickly. They'll start construction very quickly now. So this is an unusual project all the way through, but it's showed some progressive movement. I just want the board to be aware this is how we're approaching it.
Just to add to that, I know we've got specialty people looking at it and coming up with a priority list, but my priority list that I use being simple is the fact that the roof that gets fixed higher on the priority list is the one that's got the most buckets inside.
There's a math correlation of that, yes, sir.
Okay, thank you so much. Next, plan and zoning. Have a public hearing, COMP AM 15-03, Kelly Green Acres LP of Hampton, Georgia, request an amendment to the comprehensive plan for property located at the southeast corner of the intersection of Willow Lane and Bridges Road in land lot 130 of the 7th District. The request is to amend the future land use designator from medium-high density residential to commercial. District 3, presenters Dante. Mr. Gibbs, how you doing?
Good morning, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners. The applicant is requesting to amend the future land use map designation from high-density residential to commercial. The current RA residential agricultural zoning designation of the subject property is inconsistent with the future land use map, which designates the property as high-density residential. And on your overhead, it is the green hashed outline orange. And I'll put my pen there so that you can look directly at it. The requested change would clarify the county's policy regarding an area that has already been zoned commercial, but in which development has not yet begun. Based on the surrounding commercial zonings, the Henry County City's Joint 2030 Plan, the function of the collector roads as alternatives to I-75 and State Road 2081 and Jonesboro Road, the amendment as requested would clarify the county's contribution to the character of the area and its sense of place. The Zoning Advisory Board heard this case on September 10th, 2015 and recommended approval. I'll be happy to answer any questions you have at this time.
Anybody have any questions or comments? Yes, sir. I yield the full District 4.
Thank you, Chairman. Dante, where's the site plan? I didn't get a copy of the site plan. Yeah, I got the survey.
At the time of the submittal of this application, there was no end user, so this is what we have, which is required by application. The agent of the applicant may have a conceptual plan for you to look at, but this is what we have in our files, and that which is required by our application process.
I'd like to see the site plan so we can talk about some of the meat and potatoes of it.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you, Commissioner.
I like to see a site plan typically so we can see the meat and potatoes of it, but we don't really have anything here to talk about. It's just a survey. I thought a site plan was required.
A survey is required.
That's it.
Site, which is, I'm sorry, sir?
And that's it?
Yes. A survey no older than 5 years old is required for an application.
Okay.
Any further discussion? Any questions? If not, we'll recognize the applicant to come up, and you have 10 minutes. State your name for the record, please.
Good morning, my name is Butch Springer. Good morning, Commissioner, board members. Any questions? You're asking about a site plan. We don't have a site plan. We were just trying to get the property rezoned. Had somebody came to us that might want, or that's interested in the corner, so we were just trying to get it rezoned back to what our neighboring property already is. And so we really don't have a site plan per the site. We know by the time we'll have to get it developed, whoever develops it obviously will have to do one at that point in time, but that wasn't a requirement for us, and we don't really want to develop it per se, so we didn't want to impose a plan on it without being the end user on it.
Four.
Who is your end user that you're looking at? And this is why I like to have a site plan, so we can kind of see what we're talking
Well,
about.
we had a guy that wanted to put a convenience store on the corner, but I think since we've been through the rezoning, he might have went away. So right now, we really don't have a quote user. That's why we know we need to get it rezoned so that when we find that user, it will be zoned for the particular use that we anticipating it being used.
Because some of where I'm heading with this, and the reason I'm asking, we have a issue with dollar stores. They seem to pop up everywhere. And when we rezone this, we could be allowing a dollar store to come in there unknowing. And so I'm just a little hesitant bringing that up. Thank you.
Yield the floor to District 1.
Aren't the other corners, the other two corners already C2?
Yes, sir. I'll place the actual current zoning map up there, which shows the parcel, rather large parcel to the west of this subject property is already zoned C2.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome.
Any other questions for the applicant?
I just got a comment. We met with Butch and Dante. We met on this project, and this was actually going to come up at the last meeting, and there was some final, just little minor changes that he wanted to make, and we pulled it to have those discussions, and I'm in full support of moving forward with this.
Any other questions, comments? Thank you. At this moment here, this requires a public hearing. I'm going to open the floor up for 10 minutes for anybody that likes to approach the podium and speak against this. You have 10 minutes. I'm stating again that now's the time for somebody to oppose this request, come to the podium and voice your opinion. Seeing none, I'm going to determine that the public hearing requirement has been met. And I'll yield the floor back to Dante Gibbs.
That concludes my presentation for the comp plan amendment.
Okay, I'm going to yield the floor to District 3.
Okay, I move to approve the amendment to the future land use to designation from medium-high density residential to commercial.
We have a motion?
Second.
Have a second? Any further discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, same sign. So moved. Next, we'll have a public hearing, RZ 15-13, Kelly Green Acres, L. Limited Partnership of Hampton, Georgia, request rezoning from RA residential to C3 highway commercial for property located at the intersection of Willow Lane and Bridges, land lot 130, the 7th District. The property consists of 7.439 plus or minus acres, and the request is for commercial development. Dante.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The applicant is requesting to rezone the subject property from RA to C3 for future commercial development. The future land use map currently designates the subject property as high-density residential, but as you motioned in the previous case, it is now commercial. On the eve of the Board of Commissioner meeting on October 20th, the applicant contacted staff to express concern about the recommended zoning conditions that I will be presenting to you from the Zoning Advisory Board, which prompted myself and Commissioner Barham to meet, and he asked Mr. Chairman to remove this item from the agenda on October 20th. This item was heard September 10th by the Zoning Advisory Board, and after meeting with the applicant, maybe a week or two after the October 20th BOC meeting, we discussed the zoning conditions that were of concern of the applicant and the agent. And the agent of the applicant, Mr. Springer, will be presenting what we discussed, which staff has no objection to. But what I am presenting to you today or this morning is what I am required to, which is the recommendation of the Zoning Advisory Board. So with that said, the Zoning Advisory Board heard this case on the 10th of September and recommended denial of the applicant's request for C3 and approval of C2 with 9 conditions, and I'll place those on the overhead. And again, I wanted to reiterate that the applicant expressed concern with these conditions, and we have met, Commissioner Barham and myself met with the applicant and the agent, and he will be presenting the amended conditions for your consideration. I'd be happy to answer any questions you have at this time.
Anybody have any questions for staff? Just for me, what we do in the Zoning Advisory Board unanimously recommended denial of the applicant's request for a C3 and approval of C2 based on the following conditions. Is that correct?
Yes,
That's
sir.
what you just put up there.
That is correct.
Okay, at this time here, we'll recognize the applicant. If you'll step forward, you have 10 minutes.
Good morning.
Good morning, again.
Yes, sir. Oh, my name is Butch Springer. Good morning, Commissioner, board members. I'm here to answer any questions you may have, or am I supposed to go over what? Oh, our changes to what we've agreed to, they have a copy of? They don't have a copy?
Mr. Chairman, I'm going to place an amended copy of the resolution you have before you on the overhead for viewing.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I thought they had it. Well, we've amended, let me pull out what we've amended. When this was first wrote up, I don't want to get too commentary, but it was wrote as if it was a commercial development, and that was never the intent to come in as a commercial development. So some of the restrictions that were put on it were based on it being a, quote, commercial subdivision, and that's not what I said our intent was, that being the owner's intent. We were just merely trying to get it rezoned for the C3, C2 zoning is what we were requesting. So anyway, along the line, the staff put some recommendations that were based off of it being a commercial subdivision. So we had to do some amendments, and I guess you have before you what we had struck in through, and everybody agreed to, that we were in favor of. I guess number 2, we struck through the entire acre shall be platted as one commercial subdivision with all the requirements thereof, including a master sign plan. Because as I said, we didn't intend it for it to be that, so we modified. We struck through 2. We struck in through 3. Then we've left. We've agreed to give what y'all have on the original. We agreed to give the 10-foot additional right-of-way. We've agreed to the 5-foot sidewalk to be constructed, and it'll be constructed as before each. If it's sold out in parcels, once it's sold out in parcels, whoever's actually building their site before they get a CO, they'll have to have that sidewalk in for their portion of whatever the property they purchase at that point in time. So we've agreed with all that, and the buffer, there was a buffer issue that was 8.4 on y'all's that we've agreed to. The buffer requirement along the property line, shared and residential property shall meet as required by building and plan review, which they would have to tell us whatever buffer requirements at that point in time. Then we struck through number 9 on the signage part. We've just left it at the primary ground signage for the subject property shall consist of monument-based, consist of brick, stone, stucco, and any combination thereof. So we really didn't change much other than that, other than he put a height restriction and he went back about a subdivision, commercial subdivision, that we struck through that language. But really nothing in here's, I'd say, changed other than when it was quote a quote commercial subdivision, which was never the intent. Because obviously if we'd had a commercial subdivision, we would have had to have a site plan, is this is what we want to do, and here's the way it's going to lay out, and da-da-da. So we didn't have that. We were simply trying to get it rezoned, and it was just kind of a misunderstanding with staff and I guess myself and the actual owners of what our initial was just to get it rezoned. So I'm not sure what part of this y'all want me to answer, or if y'all just want to fire and we'll talk, or.
Anybody else have any questions or comments? I yield the floor to District 4.
All right, on the comments here, number 3 was crossed through.
On which one? On the new one or the
one that's crossed through?
Okay.
The commercial subdivision, where it does reference commercial subdivision, but it's talking about access points.
Correct.
I'm concerned with this simply, the more cut out, the more cuts you put up close to that intersection, the more dangerous the intersection becomes.
I understand.
So, I'm looking at that real hard.
But we had, gosh, close to 900 feet along bridges. So if you're only allowing one, I mean, that's kind of a long spread there, just to kind of cuff somebody and say one here and then one over here. The one on the Willow Lane would probably be, and I think we kind of agreed that would be acceptable, but the one along bridges, when you've got 900 feet, that we figured if worst case, you pull one down near the power line, which is the far end of the property, furthest from the corner. Because the flip side of that is, if we're going to grow like Henry County is going to grow, you're going to have a bunch of traffic funneling into one corner. And that may cause a little jams, everybody getting in and out of that one spot right there. So I guess there's kind of devil advocate between the too many cuts and you're bringing in one right there and going to funnel it all. So we figured with really almost 900 feet of frontage that it was kind of handcuffing us on the Willow Lane side, not to be able to, we're not looking at having 5 or 6, but, just 1 or 2. And I think DOT is going to put the restriction on based off of building and conditions that we can and can't put in as far as curb cuts.
Okay, so Dante, this doesn't negate DOT, because there is a distance from.
They will still need to meet Henry County DOT requirements.
Okay, that's fine. I'm good.
Anybody else have any questions?
Just a comment. Like I said, we met with Butch about this, and he had some concerns about the entryways on Bridges Road. I think we all kind of agree there's probably just going to be one entrance way on Willow Lane. But with that being said, I'm ready to make a motion.
We can't have a motion yet. Does anybody else have any questions for the applicant? If not, thank you so much.
Thank you.
This constitutes a public hearing. Anybody that's opposed this request, you'll have 10 minutes. If you would, approach the podium and state your name. I say the second time this is open for a public hearing for people who oppose this request. Seeing none, hearing none, I declare that the public hearing portion of this zoning request has been met. And if the applicant would return back, and anybody turn back to the podium, and if you would. Before we have a motion on the floor, there's been several amendments to the conditions. Are you amenable to the amended conditions?
Yes, sir. I looked at and reviewed them, and we're fine with them.
So you're agreeable with that?
With the new ones, yes, sir.
I yield the floor to District 3.
Thank you, Chairman. I'd like to make the motion to deny to C3 and approve the C2 with the amended conditions.
Have a motion, District 3. Second, District 1. Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion, raise your right hand. All opposed, same sign. So moved. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Resolution approving the purchase card policy and procedures and purchase card user agreements and designated listed elected officials. Fred Aletta, Finance Director. Good morning, Fred.
Morning, Chairman, Commissioners. Have before you a written purchasing card policy as prepared to comply with the State of Georgia OCGA 368024. In the past legislation session, General Assembly adopted House Bill 192, which changes how the county elected officials or constitutional officers may use a county-issued purchasing card. Effective January 1, 2016, no county elected official or constitutional officer may use a county purchasing card unless, 1, the Board of Commissioners has publicly voted to authorize the elected officials or constitutional officers to use a county purchasing card. Number 2, the county's adopted a policy regarding the use of the purchasing card. And 3, the county and elected officials and constitutional officers enter into a contract regarding the use of the county purchasing card. The county already utilizes a purchasing card to authorize employees by the county manager. The attached revised purchasing card policy incorporates the elected officials, constitutional officers, and the employees into one policy. Also, the county has had an employee card agreement that was signed and given to each cardholder. The attached employee card agreement with the policy has been updated so it can be used by all authorized cardholders. Basically, the policy was in compliance or format with the recommendations of the Association of County Commissioners of Georgia. I do have just 3 things I noticed last night in reviewing this. They're minor, but if I could, so get it taken care of before it gets adopted. On page 7, minor change under requesting a card. It has a county administrator, change the word administrator to manager. On page 9, there's a reference just above reconciling charges. There's a reference to an attachment 9.2. Since this policy does not have numeric sequencing, the reference to attachment 9.2 needs to be removed. And the word user guide should be probably changed to Henry County purchasing card policy. Somewhat meaning one and the same, but while I'm changing one, change the other. On page 12, the word manager was left off after violations, the second paragraph. In the discretion of the county, it should be manager, county manager. 3 minor changes that I offer to, at this time, to incorporate in the approval of the policy. Answer any questions.
The only question I have on the resolution itself, it says what we do, and we're going to approve the list of departments or people that will have the authority to the P card. Okay, if you, based on my list, the county manager is not in that list on the resolution, but it would be. I just have 2 sheets.
The requirement of the law, which is what's being taken care of here, is that the elected and constitutional officers have to be approved by the board. The use of the cards by county employees and so on does not need to be listed
So
as part of this.
Superior Court judges will never need a P card, is that?
The Superior Court and the Superior Court clerk is on here, and I understand that the clerk is doing the purchasing for the Superior Court, but it probably wouldn't hurt to add the Superior Court judge.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions or comments? If not, we have a resolution, Henry County Board of Commissioners, to approve a purchasing card policy. Is somebody move in that direction? Have a motion, District 2?
Well, I was going to say move to
I'm sorry.
approve with the changes that the Finance Director requested.
Okay. We have a motion on the floor with the changes just stated by the Finance Director. Have a motion? Second, District 3. Any further discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, same sign. So moved. Thank you. Purchasing. Next, we'll have a public hearing and ordinance repealing Section 2-2-33, county purchasing bids general and replace the same with a new purchasing ordinance. And as I understand, this is an ordinance that would require 2 readings. This will be the first reading, so there'll be no action taken today. And this will be a public hearing. So I yield the floor to Rod Gray, the Director of Purchasing. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. The request before you today is to repeal Section 2-233, titled County Purchases, Bids, etc., generally of the Code of Henry County, and replace this section with the attached purchasing ordinance. The existing code provides a very broad and general structure for Henry County centralized purchasing operations and does not necessarily provide the required level of detail, the inclusion of available opportunities for the development of efficiencies, or the structured guidelines for ongoing compliance. The proposed purchasing ordinance was created by capturing the current policies, procedures, and accepted practices that are consistently carried out in the purchasing department with a few notable amendments, and they are as listed. The first is that the sealed bid and proposal limit required for purchases of goods and services would be at a level that equals or exceeds $50,000. The Henry County Board of Commissioners approval required for purchases of goods or services that equal or exceed $50,000. And in compliance with the policy that was just presented, compliant and eligible P-card purchases can be made for single source purchases. Those are purchases that total less than $1,000. In the proposed amendment, annual contract purchases with available budget that equal or exceed $50,000 do not require additional approval from the Henry County Board of Commissioners because the annual contract has been previously approved by the Board of Commissioners and the line item budget has been previously approved by the Board of Commissioners. And finally, the last change that is worth noting is that it would incorporate the Henry First Initiative into the purchasing code. We took a look at the last 5 board meetings, and we retroactively applied the proposed purchasing ordinance in order to analyze what effect the amendment would have had on the purchasing items. This is purely anecdotal. If you'll notice in the handout that was provided, the items that are presented in bold and larger fonts would not have required the approval of the Henry County Board of Commissioners. All of the other items would have still required the approval of the Board of Commissioners. And also note that the majority of the items that would not have required approval would have been standard annual contract purchases. But there are a few items that would not have required approval because they didn't meet the proposed $50,000 board approval threshold. So in general, this is a brief summary of what this policy would look like moving forward. These are all very common types of purchases that we bring before the board on a regular basis. I would like to thank the Board of Commissioners for their thoughtful consideration in advance related to this request, and I stand ready to field any questions.
Anybody have any comments or questions? Now's the time to ask them. If not, I'm going to open the floor up for a public hearing. Anybody like to speak for or against the proposed amendment to repealing Section 2-2-33, please come to the podium, step your name, you'll have 10 minutes. I'll state again that the floor is open for public hearings. Somebody like to make comments on this proposed ordinance repeal? Seeing none, I declare that the public hearing requirement has been met. So I yield the floor to a commissioner that would like to consider moving in this direction.
Chairman, you're not going to vote on this until the next meeting.
Right, we just public hearing.
Right.
Don't see if you have any comments or questions or, okay. Having said that, thank you. Next, we have a resolution awarding a bid for solid waste removal and disposal.
Yes, sir. The current solid waste removal and disposal services contract will expire on December 31st, 2015. Having a contract allows quick access to these services. It guarantees prices will remain throughout the contract period. Bids were solicited through purchasing, and 4 vendors responded. Waste Management of Atlanta South submitted the lowest overall bid, and you can see that in the attached bid tabulation. The recommendation is to award a one-year contract with the option for 2 mutually agreed-upon extensions to Waste Management of Atlanta South. This is a unit price contract with no fixed quantities, and prices will remain firm for the contract period.
Anybody have any questions, comments? No, we have a resolution, Board of Commissioners awarding a bid for solid waste removal and disposal services. Have a motion, District 1.
Second.
Second, District 4. Any further discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, same sign, so moved.
Thank you.
Parks Recreation, resolution rescinding award to seal bids to LJU to provide youth basketball referee services for the Park and Recreation. Mr. Coley, good morning.
Good morning, Chairman, Commissioners. I've got 2 items today. Back in October, we come before the board to get a resolution approved to approve our bid for our youth basketball referees. The contract was awarded to low bid LJU, and it was approved by the board. After that, we met with LJU. There was some language and stuff that that they didn't agree with. We met with purchasing, we met with risk management, and so we decided that we probably needed to change some verbiage in the contract. So we're asking at this time that if we can rescind that award to LJU for our youth basketball officials.
Council, will you be in good shape repealing this?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I am. Basically, the bid required that the contractor provide workers' compensation insurance, and they're unable to do that. So we can't. We're not going to award. We're not going to enter into that contract. We're going to rebid, which is next. So.
Any further discussion?
Yes, just one item, please. It wasn't just the insurance requirement. There was some language related to background checks. We needed to add the word felony drug offense. There was a section where we needed to have proof of membership, training, and certification from an HCPRD approved association. And there was an item in the first bid that needed to be deleted, which was proof of completion of an NFHS or CHOA concussion in sports course. So the insurance requirement was there, but we also noticed that there were some items in the scope that needed to be added, and there was one that needed to be deleted. So we determined that the best course of action, and we did work with the county attorney on this, was to rescind the award, close this bid, and rebid it.
Anybody else have any questions or comments? If not, we have a resolution. I'm sorry, District 1.
Well, that'll be next. It'll be.
Oh, okay.
SOBA.
Any further questions, comments? Have a resolution, Henry County Board of Commissioners to rescind awarding a youth basketball referee service sealed bids for the Park and Rec Department. Have a motion, District 4. Second, District 1. Any further discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, same sign. So moved. Next, we have a resolution awarding sealed bid to South Atlanta basketball official to provide youth basketball referee service for the Parks and Rec Department, approving a blanket purchase order in the amount of $15,000 for 2015-2016. Tim.
Yes, sir. After we worked with purchasing, we rebid the basketball officials for the youth basketball program, amount of $15,000. South Atlanta basketball officials was the low responsive bid, and we recommend enter an agreement with South Atlanta basketball officials for the basketball program for 2015 and 16.
Anybody got any further questions? I think it's self-explanatory. Resolution of the Henry County Board of Commissioners awarding a youth basketball referee service sealed bids for the Parks and Recreation Department. Somebody move in that direction. Have a motion, District 1, second, District 3. Any further discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, same sign. Thank you, Tim.
Thank you.
Next, we're going to hear law enforcement service agreement between Henry County and City of Stockbridge. Give you a background. This has been going on for many months. The board has drafted this. This is a agreement between the Henry County Board of Commissioners, City of Stockbridge. We're going to send it to them, and basically what it says, it's beginning January 2016, the city shall pay to the county additional sum of $743,000. That's additional payment for such police service. And such payment shall be made in 4 equal quarterly installments beginning April 2016, and therefore after that will be a 4%. And the city obviously can add to that for more compensation. Basically, it's the same language boilerplate that was in the last one. It says that all citations issued by a Henry County police officer violation of traffic violation of the state of Georgia committed within the municipal limits of the city, and all citations issued for violation of ordinance of the city shall be tried in municipal court. The city shall pay over to the county 40% of all fines generated for violation of laws of the state of Georgia, and the city shall retain all fines generated for violation of city ordinance. I highly recommend that we approve this. So having said that, I'm going to yield the floor to District 4.
Chairman, I think you covered everything. I move to approve.
We have a motion from District 4 to approve this, what we call an IGA, intergovernmental agreement between the Henry County and the City of Stockbridge. We have a motion.
Second.
Second for District 3. Any further discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, same sign. Okay, resolution meeting dates by the Henry County Board of Commissioners. I'm the presenter because it takes a board to add something to the agenda. And basically what this does, we do it every year. Every municipality, every county, every entity in the state of Georgia, based on the state laws, we have to list the regular meeting dates, times, and places for the year commencing January the 1st, 2016 and ending December 31st. So I have obviously listed all the required meetings by charter. We have 2 meetings each month. The first meeting will be the first Tuesday of each month at 9 a.m. The second meeting of the month will be the third Tuesday, and it will be at 6:30 p.m. So if anybody would like to get a copy of this and look at it, it will be published in the paper. So, yes, sir.
The only thing, and it's not a big deal, we can still roll with it, but I just know we have, employees that have kids in the school system, and we have in the winter break for the school system and spring break for the school system, we have meetings scheduled for those weeks. And it's not a huge deal, but I just wanted to make sure we talked about it, because sometimes it puts stress on our staff when they're trying to figure out trips or take care of the kids, and then we have meetings scheduled. But I just wanted to throw it out there so we could discuss it.
Let me tell you how we handle that. It's one or two, it's 3 ways we can do it. Number one, we have to publish the chartered meetings, which just does that. So I don't think we could come in there and pick and choose which one we're not going to hear.
Right.
Now, having said that, if the board, if any of these fall on breaks for the school system, Henry County school system, then I would, the chair has the right to postpone a meeting and put it at another date, or if the board, like we've previously done, the board would, the meeting before that, or a couple of meetings where people could plan, would have a resolution to change the meeting. So I think.
Do you want to know the 2 that it ran into issues? Do you want to know the dates? I can give you the dates that it ran into issues. It was February the 16th meeting.
Okay.
And the April 5th meeting.
April the 5th, okay. So we'll just keep in mind that we'll, at a later date, we'll cancel those meetings.
Okay.
So if anybody, employees hearing this, you can go ahead and make plans that one way or another we will cancel the meetings. So having said that, a resolution establishing meeting dates for the Henry County Board of Commissioners, somebody move in that direction.
Move to
Have a
approve.
motion for District 2, second District 1. Any further discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. Approval of the minutes November the 3rd, 2015. Somebody move in that direction.
Move to approve.
Have a motion to approve the minutes of November the 3rd, 2015.
Second.
Have a second, District 1. Any further discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. Chairman, Commissioner comments. Chairman has no comments. I yield the floor to District 4. If you have any comment.
I don't, Chairman.
District 1.
No, sir.
District 3. District 2.
Hope everybody had a happy Thanksgiving and looking forward to the Christmas season.
Okay. County Manager, comments? You have any comments, sir?
No, sir, I have no comments today.
County Attorney, you have any comments?
No, sir, not today.
Upcoming meetings and events, December the 15th, 6:30 p.m. is a regular meeting. January the 5th at 9 a.m. is a regular meeting. Understand we have an executive session for what purpose?
We have pending litigation, real estate acquisitions. We have any personnel issues? And that's it.
We have any personnel issues?
No, sir, not at
No,
this time.
sir. Okay. Does somebody move that we adjourn? Sir? Oh, we do have personnel. Okay. Okay. Does somebody move to adjourn in executive session for the purpose of acquisition of real estate, pending or potential litigation and personnel matters?
So moved.
Have a motion, District 4. Second District 1. Any further discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, so moved. We're now going into executive session to discuss the 3 items that was listed here.